In case I Hey you guys, welcome back to Naughty Love Movement. It's your girl Nikki, and today I'm bringing opportunities for advertisement on my channel. If anyone is interested, they can email us at knottylove2020@gmail.com. Our prices are affordable and reasonable, and please reach out to us. We can start our videos with any commercials that you would like us to advertise. I look forward to hearing from you. I'm out. One. Hey you guys, welcome back to Naughty Love Movement. It's your girl Nikki, bringing you the latest and trending topics, and I vlog my life. And today we're going to get into Love and Marriage Huntsville season 6, and we're going to recap episode 1 and 2. I kind of wanted to do them together because I felt like we were going to get more this episode. Shout out to everybody who is joining me. I appreciate y'all. I hope you all are having a wonderful Sunday. Curves, thank you for joining me. I'm going to bring you up on the panel here.
Hello.
Hey, Curves. Happy Sunday to you.
Happy Sunday, goddess. I appreciate you having me up. I'm ready to talk about it all, girl.
Yes. And please make sure you go to my girl's channel and subscribe. She talks about dope trending topics. She gets into the housewives. She gets into the Bravo mess. Okay. Curves, let them know how they can find you. What platforms they can find you on.
Well, I'm everywhere, you guys. Just like it says, Larger Curves, LRGA space CURVES here in these YouTube streets, on Instagram at Larger Curves, TikTok, Discord, Patreon. I have an OnlyFans, but I don't do naughty things. So, yeah. So, but I'm everywhere, you guys. Thanks for that, Naughty.
Oh, always. You know, you always get that from me. Because it's enough for us to share, and we can all help each other to come up. Seriously. It's just not that serious. Hey, Deborah, thank you for joining us. She said, hi, Naughty Love. It's Deborah Poison, the poet. Blessings. Ooh, Deborah, please DM me because I'm gonna have a poetry slam segment on my podcast, which is going to be my backup channel. So please DM me your information so that when we set up that first show, I can have you on like a guest because I love poetry. What about you, Curse?
Oh, yes. I'm a poet and you know it. and I will
Exactly.
show it.
Little freestyle for you, okay? I love you, Curtis. I love your energy. Always. So we're going to start off with episode 1. It is titled "A Halt and a Prayer." And in this episode, I'm just going to give a brief summary. Melody comes out of seclusion, and as you all know, Melody's pattern after they do the reunion, she ghosts everybody. She ghosts everybody. And maybe it's to preserve her own energy. Or maybe she feels some sort of way the way everyone is treating her when she helped everyone get onto this journey. Also, we're going to get into Stormy and her husband. Courtney, who is Letitia's niece, she has an emotional disagreement. Martell reveals his new love interest, which I don't even think is his love interest. She's just occupying space and time because he's just hoping and praying that Melody will come back. And he still wants Melody to pray about their relationship. So we're going to jump into it. Let me see. There's some comments. Yes. My Instagram is scrolling across the bottom of the screen, Deborah. All right. So the episode starts off with Melody coming to meet up with Kimmy after her hiatus. And as you all know, Kimmy has been battling cancer, unfortunately, breast cancer. All right. But she's doing well. She's doing well despite everything. The chemo kind of took care of most of it. And when she did her scan, it said that she had no cancer detected, which I think is awesome. What do you think about that, Curves?
Yay! Kimmy made it through. I'm so excited. You know, she's so brave for sharing that story.
Yes.
And I'm super excited that it's a good story, that it's ending up good news
Mm-hmm.
and all about, like, you know, the magnificence of the body being able to heal itself. So, you know, hats off to her courage. Thank God for complete healing. And I think that was a good scene. I do appreciate how Melody is treating everybody with kid gloves and a 10-foot pole, though. I think it's in her interest, and we know she pulls away. And I feel like it's a good thing she does, because you finally saw all the confessionals. You finally know what they really think about you. You have to process that. It's not any kind of, oh, you get to say I'm the most evil person on earth and then we're just going to kiki every day. No, that's not how it works. I need to withdraw my energy. Like, you're cut off from access to me. And I feel like there's power in accessibility, right? And
Mm-hmm.
so her taking that accessibility away from people who feel entitled to her, like, what did they really do to earn her? But they feel entitled to her, and she knows that. And so, like, those are, like, kind of, in a way, energy vampires. People that feel entitled to you but aren't filling you up once you get there. You know what I mean?
Exactly. I feel like her trust was broken last season.
Yeah.
And people really started showing their true colors now that they don't need her anymore, right?
Right.
They
Right.
all have created their own platforms. But Kimmy, in honor of her going through cancer and everything and getting on the other side of things, she wants to throw a party. Just to announce it to her closest friends and family. So she tasked Melody as the party planner. And she said, of course, in true Kimmy fashion, she gets along with I love Kimmy's spirit, and I love how she knows how to handle herself, and she's direct when she needs to be. But I think it was ironic that she tasked Melody with this. But Melody even said like they have gotten closer. And I think it's through, all Kimmy is going through with this illness.
Yeah.
Melody, she is a caring person at heart.
She is.
And I think she does have Kimmy's best interest at heart. And Kimmy she doesn't need anything from Melanie. You know what I
Right.
mean? She's established in her own right. And so they do this mock scene on how Melody should approach everybody because, Kimmy wants to invite everybody. She
Right.
doesn't want to exclude anyone. What did you think about that, Curves?
I feel like it's interesting too that Kimmy would want to include everybody and then asked Mel to be the bearer of that news. Like, is she getting EP credits these days? Like, what was all that about, really? That was such an interesting choice. I do give heck of kudos to Melody for even accepting the task at hand, because she's a better woman than I am. I would have been like, well, I don't really even want to deal with half the people on your list. And can you call half and I call half or something, you know?
Exactly.
But I feel like, it is a testament to how Kimmy feels her and Melody's relationship is, because that is big. Like, she has, of all the people, and because Tink, little Letitia Scott can be like, well, I'm the sister-in-law. Why didn't you ask me? I should have did it. I should have did it. You know what I mean? And
Mm-hmm.
so she's taking a chance, even asking Melody to do something that she didn't ask Letitia to do. So yeah, I hope this is a testament to a real foundational friendship, and not that she's an op for the Scots.
Exactly. Let me say hi to some of my people. Hey, Miss Bugs. Thank you for joining. Happy Sunday to you. Hey, Michelle GM. Welcome, welcome, welcome. And if I dropped a link, if any one of you want to join the panel at any point in time to chime in, please come on up. I welcome it. Okay. We're getting into Love and Marriage Huntsville, episode 6. And we're recapping season 6, episode 1 and 2. And thank you, Kurz, for your commentary. It does make sense. And I just really hope that it's real, like you said, and it's not
Yeah.
just for TV. Okay. So, Melanie, the next scene, they show her hanging out with her kids. I think they have the most beautiful kids, her and Martell. They're very charismatic. And Melanie is such a great mom. You have to give that to her. Um, and they're sitting there, they're making pretzels and things like that, just having some fun time. It looks like it's around the holidays, right, Curves?
Yeah, it's looking like Christmas. And, that's what we have to remember as viewers. Like, this already happened. So, yeah, this was Christmas. And it's such a sweet scene. The kids are beautiful, but they're growing so fast
Right,
because they
sugar
all
mama, look
look
how
like
big
babies.
she got.
Yeah, they look like babies even here. And this is just last Christmas. And now if you see the Instagram they have, they're all so grown in just the last year.
Oh gosh, they're so beautiful, and I
Yes.
always enjoy when they have their kids on, especially Montel Jr. You just never know what's going to fly out of his mouth.
Right.
Yeah, Michelle GM says yes. I love their kids. It just kind of gives some lightheartedness to the season and things like that to kind of help you escape away from the drama just a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
So the next scene, it flashes to Melody starting to make phone calls, curves to everyone to invite them to
Mm-hmm.
Kimmy's party. Oh my God.
Yeah.
And one of them that stood out to me is when she called Stormy, how shady she was. She was like, who?
Right.
Who?
Right.
Who? Right, Curse?
Oh my gosh. Stormy is on one. I'm not
Mm-hmm.
appreciating her energy. She came in all hot and heavy and got mad people called her ghetto because of her accent last time. Well, you're not doing anything to change the narrative, darling. You're like coming in hot and heavy again, coming all sideways, super like, we ain't got that like that. We ain't got that. And I'm just like, why is everything so edgy with you? Can you just sit down and talk without coming off so defensive, passive aggressive at the same time? I'm like,
Exactly. I mean,
yeah, I
isn't
don't
she the one that
appreciate
said
her.
that like nobody's really her friend yet?
Yeah, and for her to sit there and act like she has no idea who's this, who. Well, it come out that Stormy knows Coleslaw like well, like
Mm-hmm.
used to wait outside the job and like chit chatted while they were waiting for each other's men, and or their boyfriends used to know each other. Somebody that wasn't Martell knew a man that her husband knows or something. And so it all came out about this whole entire relationship that Stormy and Coleslaw, who is Martell Holt's baby's mama, Ariane Curry, allegedly, they she's been dubbed Coleslaw, know each other and are like acquaintances. And she wasn't upfront with Melody about. Melody didn't know that, I don't believe. And so of course you didn't get no call after I found that out. Op. You're a complete
Hello?
op.
Hello? And I'm sorry, it's a two-way street. And if you're really considering being my friend, extend that extra hand. There's so many ways to get in touch with people.
Yeah.
And we'll get into that later. But everyone's saying hey curves to you in the
Oh,
comments.
hey, what's good, everybody? I'm so glad you guys are
Michelle,
here.
yes,
Smash
I
Knotty's
am too.
buttons, ring her bell if you haven't already, all right?
Smash it, smash it, smash away. Michelle GM, she said, I'm sorry, but that was funny when she called Stormy. It was shady, and it was a little
Yeah,
funny for me too.
yeah.
And also, Michelle GM says, oh yeah, that's right. That did come out. She's talking about, hey, she's talking about Stormy knowing coleslaw. Thank you for
Yes,
bringing that out because I completely forgot about that, Curves.
yes.
So up next, we're getting into Stormy and her husband, Courtney. We're getting an inside look about some of their issues. So the scene opens up with them gathering together with their son, who is so adorable. Okay,
Oh
because
my gosh.
the kids
Incredibly adorable,
took
yes.
the show. Okay, but Stormy goes into how she wants more kids, and her husband's like, "I don't want any more kids." And so
Yeah.
she's like, what? Why? And he's like, because you almost lost your life. Like, why would I want to go through that again? Or
Yeah.
whatever. And so then Stormy's just like, well, I mean, we could use a surrogate. And he's just like, well, I don't want to do that either. Because I want us to carry our children.
Right.
Right?
Yeah.
So, Curves, you coming from marriage, a
Mm-hmm.
strong, healthy marriage. I really
Yeah.
want to hear your perspective on this couple and how they could kind of compromise in this situation. What do you think?
Well, I feel like it's interesting. If they had a talk early on in their marriage about wanting kids, and then this horrific thing happened, then I feel like he should remain open to allowing another avenue for them to get their initial goal. However, if it was something that came up after they got married and they're both developing their own thoughts about being parents together, then this is kind of what you get. That's why I'm always saying communication is key in any healthy relationship. Now, I'm surprised that Stormy she's an intelligent, business minded woman, right? She's like, why would she wait to bring this to TV unless she feels like the pressure of it being on TV might help her get the answer she wants because maybe she knew this was going to be the answer.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? So she might be
Mm-hmm.
playing a manipulation thing right now, trying to make him, oh, well, look, everybody else is doing it. And look what the public's going to think of you. And like, why didn't she? This is a really tender subject. And you
Yes.
can tell, Courtney, men care, you guys. Men care in a kind of way that we don't even understand the language. And women are from Venus, men are from Mars for a reason. And for him to be like, look, I don't want to lose you, basically. That had to scare the bejesus out of that whole entire grown man. And
It's
while
a
he loves
trauma.
his child, the thought of losing his wife, who's the vessel, is traumatizing to him in and of itself. And I think they might want to consider, like, some counseling off of TV. I don't think TV is the place to have this conversation, honestly.
I don't think
I
so
really don't.
either,
I
I
felt because
agree
I
with
heard
you.
pain in his voice when he was talking.
And you could tell he's afraid of losing his wife. But Michelle Jim makes this point, Curves. Maybe something has changed since they got married that made him change his mind.
Yeah, well, almost losing her could have very well done that, but they need to have that conversation off of TV, I think.
I agree, Curves. Yeah, even Michelle agrees with you.
All right.
Um, Yeah, seriously. But what I thought was interesting when Stormy sat down with her mom, you guys, and discussed it with her mom. And I kind of felt like mom gave her another perspective to look at it. And she's like, look, he's traumatized from seeing you in that condition. I didn't feel like she was really open to it. What did you think, Hers?
Um, she's not really open to it. I feel like she wants what she wants when she wants it. She
Mhm.
wanted to be on the show. She got what she wants. And now all of a sudden, Melody's an over there friend, or she doesn't understand the type of person that she is. And it's just all kind of made upness to suit her narrative. And I feel like this could be another instance of that. And like I said, for her to bring it to TV, use it for a storyline, use it for a conversation. This is a deep conversation to have with your mom on TV about that and your dynamics of your relationship. You know, I just don't know if it'll all be worth it in the end. Like, what's what is it going to ultimately cost her to be playing like this in our face?
Ah, exactly. And I kind of felt like her husband was really caught off guard when she
Yeah.
said, when we have more kids. He's like, what?
Yes,
No.
that's what I'm saying. Like he's like, no, and I'm scared, and no.
Exactly. Let me say hi. Hey, Shay B. Welcome, welcome, welcome.
Right on,
I
Shay
dropped the link.
Sis.
Yes, I dropped the link. If anybody wants to come up on a panel and join the discussion, I think these first two episodes, there are a lot of talking points.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm glad I have Curves on the panel because she's a happily married woman. So she can kind of give us a perspective from that angle,
Right on.
to drive the conversation. And also, Stormy confronted her mother about her tweeting action. Okay. Mama don't play. Mama don't play. I don't know. How you think
Betty,
her mama stands up to Miss Wanda, Curves?
right? And she is very Wanda 2.0, isn't she?
Mm-hmm.
Very Betty 2.1. I don't know. She's coming off way aggressive. Again, here we go with people that Melody brings on the show. Not only them coming for her, but their loved ones feeling entitled to come for her ankles. Like, that's all type of disrespectful. Even if your daughter did have a multi-bajillion dollar hair industry before she got on the show, that was before. Now, because of Melody's kindness, your daughter's on the show and you never liked the way this woman moved, but you're going to wait to get to a camera to say it on the platform that she allowed your daughter to have. Really? That's how you move? That's the woman that you're raising? That's the example that she got is from you? No, apples and trees, you guys. Apples and trees.
And what gives her the right to come in and say, I don't like Melanie? Who cares? Melanie's not trying to be
Yeah.
friends with you.
Well, don't be under her camera then. The MP credit at the end of the show that you're sitting on, lady, is going to say Melody Holt. So if you don't like her, get off, because you just made her a whole load of money.
Exactly. Exactly. And one thing I left out, I forgot when Melanie was making the calls to invite everyone to Kimmy's party, the angst she had with Montel because she
Oh, that
knows
was
he's going to try to
hilarious.
manipulate the situation, right? Because he wants to prey on the relationship. And I just think Montel is just so fake.
So
I just think
embarrassing.
it's his narcissism that wants her back.
Yeah.
He doesn't really want to be a changed person. What do you think, Hers?
Oh, I completely agree with that statement you made. And that phone call, it was hilarious. My husband, he's in here watching it with me last night, and he doesn't like sit and look at the thing. He's like doing his workout or whatever, and he's overhearing those. So he ear hustled Melody call Martell, and I didn't think he was paying that much attention. And when Martell was like, "Her, well, what do you want? What do you want?" He said,
Right?
"My
That
husband
was
laughed for
classic.
15 minutes."
It was like the Scooby Doo.
Yes, he laughed for 15 minutes, you guys. It was like, that's hilarious. Because he, as a man, knows that when you change your base from that to that, you really were caught off heck of guard. He was like, she caught him off guard. And I'm glad she did. That's the thing I'm saying about access. When people mistreat you and they don't treat you right, and they don't respect your boundaries, your accountability to yourself, your respect to yourself should outweigh any loyalty you have to something outside of yourself, that you remove your accessibility from that energy, because Martell does not deserve it. And I'm so glad he had to be like, when he finally even got to hear her voice, you guys. Cut off all that accessibility to demons like that.
Exactly. Michelle said that was funny when she called Martell. LOL. Yes, it was hilarious the way she called her. And you could tell he just yearns for her attention, right?
Yearns. Oh my gosh.
It is crazy. So that moves me on to the next thing, the actual party curves. Okay.
Yeah.
Everyone's arriving and gathering together. All right. And I thought it was cool that everyone wore a touch of paint,
Hmm.
pink, and I forget her name. This one that's
Tiffany.
pregnant. Tiffany. Tiffany, she looked really good pregnant. It looks like she's embracing her pregnancy and things like
Yeah.
that. I think she's glowing and I think she looks beautiful. And one of the first things, Miss Stormy, she could not wait
Couldn't wait for drama. A
to
moment.
pull Melody out and pull her aside to confront
Hmm.
her about
Hmm.
not calling her for a couple of months. Okay.
Right.
So
Right.
Stormy's perception is just like, are we really friends? I haven't heard anything from you. And then all of a sudden you call me, invite me to this party, and then you changed your number and didn't even give me your number. Why? Why? Stormy, grow up. People have lives. And if you really had genuine care for this woman, there's so many ways you could have contacted her.
Right. Yeah. Da-na-na. I love when Melody said, "Oh, you didn't da-na-na?" She
Yeah,
said, "You
uh-huh.
didn't hear da-na-na?"
Uh-huh.
That's
But
because
Melody
Stormy's
handled her
like,
because she tries to be a little bullyish, if you ask me.
she was very
Um,
bullyish.
and she just thinks she's better than. And why should I have to call you? Well, guess what, Stormy? It's a two-way street. And sometimes, you know what? I may have to put in 2 or 3 phone calls to my friends because they
Right.
have families, they have lives outside
Their
of me.
lives. Right. Right. And why would it be such a big deal? And for her to, just like Melody said you know how I am. So why is it a problem? You start your conversation saying, I pull away from me people, but then you think you're different than people I've known longer than you on this show. How did she think that she was entitled to any different treatment after the news that she eats coleslaw or that she knows coleslaw?
Exactly. I just don't understand what her expectation was of
Yeah,
Melody. I mean,
right.
and it's not like Melody treated her any different from the rest. She stayed away from all of them
All
except
of them.
Kimmy. She kept in contact with, which I'm sure is because of her ailment, you know?
Right, exactly. Or else Kimmy would have been cut off too.
Mm. So another highlight from the scene was when Kimmy announced to everyone that her scan came back clear. And I just thought this was a moment of unity. That's why I captured this shot.
Yeah.
Kimmy looks great. The cast looked great. Letitia, the jury's still out on me with her. It's something about her that rubs me the wrong way.
Ooh,
It
you
really
are not the
does.
only one. That is a great spirit of discernment you have over you. There is something happening over there. Yeah, definitely. Her energy is very off-putting and just feels so calculated and manipulative. Everything she does she feels a chess move, and it's just hard to watch. It's really hard to watch the amount of gaslighting she can give off in a single episode and the amount of poor me when she's done worse and longer and first. And I can't with Letitia.
And
I
she
can't.
gives me like Latasha Scott. You know how like when she's on fire and with questions, she never knows anything. That's just like her roundabout
Yeah.
answer. And I kind of feel like Letitia gives off these same vibes.
Yeah. She definitely gives off, oh,
Yes.
did I do that? She's one of those, oh, did I just drop that nuke? She's that kind of thing. Like she'll do something and then she acts like she didn't do it. Yeah, that's what I think of her.
She throws stones and hides her hand.
Yeah, like she'll give her mom all this information that only she has, and then her mom will weaponize it, and then she'll be like, "Oh, well, my mom's the one that said it. I didn't say it, but you gave her the information."
Exactly. It came. Where'd she get it from?
Right. It wasn't from an interaction that she had with you.
I
No, it
kind
was from
of
a,
feel like she used Miss Wanda to fight her battles.
yeah, she uses everybody to do it, and now she's trying to use this new little cousin, but we're not there yet.
Oh, we coming to that. Okay. So, we end up with the party. Everyone has a good time. Stormy and Melody fake like they're going to move on, but I don't feel like Stormy is over it because for whatever reason, she feels like she's entitled to this
Yeah.
friendship with Melody, and it has to be on her standards. And she
Yeah.
really needs to look up what friendship is. It's just a give and take.
Yeah.
Hey, Melody was going through something. You didn't even
Right.
care
Like,
enough to check in on her.
and where's the compassion for Melody? Like, because she obviously had to be going through something to have everybody on that stage do what they did to her. And then if she didn't talk to you at the reunion, but she's been on the show for so long, then maybe something's going on with her. What happened to you being able to check on your friend? You obviously knew she was next door to you. Melody didn't know. You knew though. Why didn't you go knock
Mhm.
on her door? Why is it all on Melody? Everything's on freaking Melody.
I'm so tired of everyone trying to make Melody the villain every season. It's just like
Yeah.
find a new storyline.
But I am very pleased that Melody is at least playing with them this season. Remember last season? She didn't show up to nothing.
Yep.
We didn't even
Yep.
see Melody hardly except for on the EP credits. We didn't see her. And
And,
then
and,
this,
and they try to set her up, Curves. That's just
yeah,
about it. They're trying to make her look bad.
all the time.
But ultimately they're making themselves look bad. Like, because
Yeah,
if you
because we
got all
see.
these businesses, like you say, how do you have time to tear someone else down? Make
Yeah,
it make
like what's going on in your life that you literally have time for this? I thought you were building multi-million-dollar companies, like freaking Naughty just said. What's going on?
Exactly. Michelle GM says Stormy is looking for drama to me. A real friend would have found ways to check on her. I agree.
Right? Talking about, I don't DM real friends. I don't DM real friends. I don't DM real friends. But she was your friend before this question, and you admitted that you did, in fact, DM her prior. So what is the problem when you don't DM friends? I don't DM friends. I see where I am. I see where I am. Well, because you put yourself there, coleslaw.
Exactly. And so the scene ends out, speaking of Melody, with Montel being basically a net or a thorn in Melody's side and insisting on walking her to her car. And Melody is just like, no. But then Tiffany and her husband, Louis, they're just like, oh, we kind of understand. It's kind of like they were favoring Martell and trying to like push his point. But if someone says they don't need you, leave them be.
Yes. Oh my gosh. I totally appreciated Melody for saying to these people, I'd appreciate my wishes and my boundaries being respected. Didn't I just say I don't want him? Don't encourage him. Do not encourage him. You see, I've been trying to get this man away from me since 2020, you guys. And for you to
Mm.
stand here and play this mind F game with me and him at my expense because I'm the only one that's uncomfortable in all of this. You guys are doing this at my expense, and I keep asking you, leave me alone. That was a control narcissistic move for him because
Mhm.
now that makes her look like, oh, you're not letting him be nice to you. You know what I mean? And it's like a
Mhm.
complete another manipulation, and he knows it. And that's why he says it in front of people so that he can try to get the adoration and the attention that he's seeking at her expense. And then he leaves there and goes and bees with Sheree. And before that, he was just with Sheree. And before that freaking event, before he says he wants to walk her to his car, he just with his mama talking trash about Melody? And then you're gonna get to an event hours later and be like, oh, I'm gonna walk her to her car. He is I don't even understand how she's tolerated that much stuff from him. Can you imagine what we haven't seen him put her through? He's doing this on
Exactly.
TV 3 years later, you guys. 3 years later. Can
He's
you imagine what
diabolical.
she.
And don't forget, his mama is an enabler because when he was talking about going to therapy,
She's like, oh,
he's
you
like,
don't
what do
need
you need
that.
therapy for?
You don't need that. You need to stay toxic like me. Nobody's gonna recognize me. Nobody's gonna recognize you if you don't stay toxic like me. People need to. You know the fruits by the tree. You know the tree by the
Exactly.
fruits or whatever how they say. And
And
that
that's
was
how you
toxic
create this
too.
monster. Martell's mom, although she may have a lot more class, reminds me of Blueface mom.
Yeah, oh my God, you're so right. OMG. OMG. And it's just so messy. Why
Exactly.
would, for them to
And
constantly give that other side chick lady more, well, less negativity publicly is just, I can't.
I feel like his mom, she's just trying to find a reason to hate Melody, and it's
Yeah.
ridiculous.
Yeah.
Michelle GM says Martell was annoying. She said no. She
And
said
no,
no, no,
yeah.
no, no.
Is that, could that even be a form of, it's not essay, but it's definitely, that is something, because there are lots of men, or people rather, like Martell, who you can say no and they'll just bother you and 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 bother you
Until they
and
get a
invade your
yes.
space.
Guess who that
And
reminds me of?
who?
Jaguar. Always
Ooh,
driving her own narrative because she has to have her way. It's a
yeah,
narcissistic trait.
yeah.
You're right. You're right. So that's how the episode rounded out for episode 1. We're gonna jump into episode 2 now. And Stormy confronts Melody at Kimmy's party. We saw that. Letitia presents her cousin with a business offer. Kimmy prepares for surgery. Martell and Melody address questions about their dating lives and custody case. And Kiki and Letitia meet up one-on-one at a boxing place, which I thought was ironic that they chose that place. But the show opens up with Kimmy and Maurice. And I have to say, Maurice has grown on me because I thought he was like a pompous, arrogant, chauvinistic jerk like his brother. But between last season and this season, he's really stepped up to the plate and showed us that he really has Kimmy's best interest at heart. And he doesn't want her to be overworked and overwhelmed and things like that. But they're sitting and talking about the party, and Kimmy is saying how she needed that and she was tired, but it felt good and she felt ready to go into her surgery. What did you think about this scene, Curves?
I love Kimmy and Maurice were my favorite couple. They kind of slid down the rankings, but remained number top. They remained the top, but slid down after that whole finding out that Kimmy somehow primed that other Scott brother, basement Scott brother, to come on and malign Miss Van's reputation. Um, and Kimmy had something to do with that. And I was like, really? Kimmy? Not my Kimmy. I literally said, not my Kimmy,
Right?
because I really thought so highly of her overall. I felt like her and Miami Reese were giving us what the people wanted as far as hashtag Black love, Black sexy couple. I was digging their vibe. I was like appreciating everything about them. And so this scene let me do that again
Okay.
without the thought of Basement Billy there.
Mhm. I love it, Curves. I love it. So the next scene we go into, which before I go into it, this next scene, this is what I'm talking about with Letitia, how calculated and diabolical she can be. And it just showed me that she has another side. So she goes to a restaurant to meet up with her niece, Courtney, who I thought they looked very similar. You could tell their family.
Oh my gosh, the genes in that family are so freaking strong.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my gosh, they all look just like. I want to see who started it. Who started it? If this is watered down, who started it that they all look just alike?
Exactly. Exactly. Michelle GM says, I love this scene with Maurice. Really has stepped up and grown on a lot of people. He has, because you know why, Michelle, in the beginning, remember when like when they were building the houses and everything on that property, he was kind of like leaving Kimmy out of everything and then bring her in on the tail end and expecting her to just go along to get along.
Right.
And I just didn't like that he would undermine her like that. And part of me felt like it was the dynamic of their age, right? The fact that he's younger than her. Sometimes when it's a younger guy dating an older woman, the man feels like they have to overcompensate for being a man, quote unquote. You know what I mean? And they move forward with making decisions without consulting their partner. And it's just not right. It's just not right.
Well,
So,
I don't know if that has to do with age or respect. Like, seriously,
respect.
you're in a whole relationship with somebody who at one point is going to find out about this. Are they going to be bad when they find out that you did this without them? Is the bottom line of the question.
Mhm.
And you know
Mhm.
the answer to that when you're doing what you're doing. So
Exactly.
it's a respect thing. I feel like Letitia, oh, as far as Miami Reese, I hope he's not doing, I hope nothing comes out. The Scott brothers have been really good about not having any of the alleged linebackers come out of the woodwork with receipts or stories or anything like that. And so I hope that continues to be true and that nothing Vanderpumpish comes out about Miami Reese and where he may be satisfying his proclivity to have like sex 8 times a day. Like, because obviously Kimmy's not going to be able to do that and have all this chemo stuff, right? So I just hope that we don't find anything out and that Kimmy's relationship continues to be blessed and highly favored and that this isn't just an act on Miami Reese's part.
I hope not either. I hope not either.
Yeah.
But I do think the thought of losing his wife really scared him straight.
Yeah, that could scare him straight. That could also scare him straight. I hope it, me too. I hope it does too. She deserves to be happy and he deserves to be happy and to be the kind of man that he wants to be, for real in his heart. So I hope, you know what I mean? And
Yeah.
kudos to him for being there for her,
Yeah, I wish them the best. I really, really do. So
for
let's
real.
get into conniving Letitia.
Yes.
Okay, so Letitia has recently received her brokerage license. And congratulations to her. She's very educated. She has a lot of degrees on her belt and this and that. All right. And she wants her niece, Courtney, to come on as a real estate agent under her brokerage firm. And Courtney is successful in her own right. But Courtney says that she needs to think about it. She
Right.
needs to make sure everything lines up before she can make a final decision. And so then she turns the tables and she brings up Kiki and
Mm-hmm.
how the breakdown of the relationship between Kiki and Letitia, it made her feel really bad because both of them were there for her when she decided to relocate to Huntsville. She
Right.
stayed with both of them and she really would like them to work it out. So Letitia takes this as an opportunity to leverage her niece and says, okay, I'll meet up with her, but you have to come on as a agent under my broker's firm. What did you think about that?
I feel like that was a huge ask. It further shows the entitlement of Letitia's spirit. Um, the not only pick me, pour me, but do what I say because I'm me for no reason other than I said it. Like, you literally just got your brokerage. So, but she's been in business 5 years. So her coming to you is edifying you. What are you giving her? Like, just because you're Letitia and have a broker's license? No, she's helping you out. Actually, you're new to this game. She's true to this at this point. You know what I mean?
I feel
And
like if
then,
Denise was smart, she would get her own brokerage license and keep all her business for herself. Why?
definitely,
What gives Letitia? Why is she entitled to everything she worked hard to build up for? Like, show
right?
me what you're working with first.
That's what I'm saying. And then for her to further go and say, well, because I'm doing this huge favor for you, I'm going to go talk to Kiki. And since I'm doing that, you have to come work for me. That's not the same. That is not apples and apples, you guys. Letitia's crazy, you guys. The amount of gas that was in that room during that for her to pretend and pressure this lady, that was duress. If you guys Google duress, Duress, this whole thing is duress right here. That didn't make no sense. That is not apples to apples comparison. And that is not worth it. Your professional license and reputation and, client list is not the same as cousins fighting on TV about made up stuff. You know what I'm saying?
I felt like she emotionally extorted her.
Oh, that's great. That's exactly excellent. Yes. Emotional extortion. You guys, hashtag emotional extortion. Oh my gosh, she did. She
And that's how
did.
I felt. And it solidified how I felt about Letitia. I don't know, Michelle, what did you think? Because I thought it was manipulative the way she did that, especially after her niece was firm with saying, it has to make sense for me. I have to make sure all the ducks are in a row. And
Right.
so because she wants you to work out a family matter, you throw in business.
Yeah. And there's no promise of a resolution. I'm just taking a meeting, but I have to still bring my license to you.
It,
And
and
you still can
Letitia
act
is not
anyway.
promising to resolve the issue.
And then for her to get in that confessional and say, well, I would have made a deal with the devil himself. This is business. Bitch, this is your family. So now even further, you're going to be one of those like Teresa Giudice that is just like about tearing down your entire family legacy and tree for TV family legacies and trees. Like, that is not okay with me. I feel like Letitia at this point can use a timeout. She's too big for her britches. She's being very fast, as my grandmother used to call it. She's being very, birds of a feather flock together. My grandma would have warned me about this one. She's fox. She's sly like a fox. Be careful of her. You know what I mean? Because this is not girl power. That was not a favor. That was emotional extortion, as Knotty so eloquently put it. And it should not be tolerated. And I hope Courtney isn't being like really seriously held to that in any way. Like, I hope that was just a TV moment, for real, for real.
I kind of felt like the way Letitia approached her niece. Remember when Jaden was working for them at Black?
Yeah,
I kind of felt like she did the same thing with him
she
because
did.
she
You're
was mad
totally
at him.
right. Yes,
I
she
just noticed a
totally
pattern with
did.
her.
Yeah, yeah. She's very she's not a happy upper management person. Like, she's not. You probably see her coming in like, oh Lord.
Exactly. So
Let
Michelle
me
says,
find some side work to busy myself with.
ah. So Michelle says, I agree. Extortion, straight up. Hey, welcome, G Mom 4. She says
What's
that was
good,
so
Chima?
wrong. And Shay B says, real talkers.
Right on.
Hey everyone. So we can move on to the next scene because I think we're all in agreement on what was going on here. Okay. Next scene is Martell meeting up with their friends. The
The
couple,
Fletchers.
the Fletchers. Yes, yes. He's meeting them and they sit down and they start getting into, seeing how Martell is doing and everything. And Martell brings up that he's in court with Melanie and they ask why are they still in court, because I don't even get it at this point why they're still dragging things out in court. It's because it's control, and his reasoning is because I don't like that Melanie has 20 babysitters. And Mrs. Fletcher said, like, I don't think that's true. I felt like he was stretching the truth myself. I
Yeah,
can see Melanie having her kids around 20 different people.
yeah. If she was using a service and the service happened to send 20 different people for whatever reason, then that could happen. Or if between a service that she was using and friends who came over to the house and relatives, like her brother and mother, then I could see 20 happening. I could see 20 happening, you know. Now that is a lot. That's a lot. That's a lot. I have to go back and see where exactly what happened, if something ever happened. But it didn't happen. And he has every right to feel like that's a large number, but it's on her time, which is his problem. Is her time is no longer his time. And he wants her time.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean?
And that's what
He's
I think he's
crazy.
using. Curse, that's what I think he's using court for.
Yeah.
I think he's using that as a tactic to see Melody and still trying to control her.
Yeah, because in court it has to have be like, oh, where you been? Oh, Your Honor, like whatever questions the lawyers ask, and I bet he's asking crazy, stupid stuff. Whatever questions the lawyers ask, the person has to answer. And so, what if it's like, oh, where were you on this night? Then he's like, oh, that's where she was.
Mm-hmm.
And he's just using everything, every chance he can to control her. I ultimately have always said the only reason Martell Holt is asking for full custody of his children from Melody is because he needs child support, because he cannot accommodate the children to the same lifestyle that their mother can. And she's doing her tour thing, she's doing all these collaborations, she has her mastermind stuff going on. She's all kind of entrepreneur and black excellence happening over and over again. You know what I'm saying? They
Mm-hmm.
try to trip her, and they literally trip her up. She ends up leveling up every time. You know what I mean? Like, there's a lot to be said for a person like Melody's tenacity and perseverance. Like, that's beautiful
Mm-hmm.
to me anyway.
Yeah, Gmom Four says, I don't think Mel would let that many people around her kids. I don't think so either.
Yeah.
Especially in the words of Kovi, in the world of Koviana.
Yeah,
Michelle
like that's
Dunn says,
crazy.
well, she spoke on it before and she said it's just her relatives. Martell do not want the kids around her brother. Oh, we all know this because he's homophobic. Hey, Juby Buggin, welcome, welcome, welcome. We're
He
in
is, except for that he loves Carlos King too. He loves all that attention Carlos King gives him.
We're getting into Love and Marriage, Huntsville, the recap of episode 1 and 2. And right now we're on episode 2. And we just discussed Martell's exaggeration about the babysitting situation. But this is his point of contention so he can drag Melody back to court. Waste the money and time. Okay, just go
Right.
ahead and father your children and leave this woman alone.
Right.
Right? But Mrs. Fletcher wasn't having it. Okay, so she ultimately met up with Mel to check in and see how she was doing, see what was going on with her career. And they just kind of did a little key session in the words of Curves, you know. And Mrs. Fletcher, she says, Mel, I just want to let you know, because she's a true friend of Mel. And she brought up the babysitting situation, and Mel kind of explained it away, right, Curves?
Yes, she explained it away because it just like we were saying, it's about his access to her. And can you imagine having to live in a small place like Huntsville and having Crazy Martell always like popping out from behind the wall,
Exactly.
walking up behind you in the store,
Mm-hmm.
seeing you in the restaurant, happening to be at the airport, like literally everywhere you are, like there he is. Like that has to be a little scary, you guys.
Exactly. Exactly. But I like how Melody is standing her ground and she's not bothered by Martell anymore. I think
Yeah.
Mel is quite over him, but he has to let go. He really has to let go and find another life, and which he's trying to do with Sheree. But those upcoming scenes, now I see what's going. I always felt like her and Sheree and Martell was a
Uh-huh.
TV relationship, so she could grab at another check.
Yeah.
Okay, so that she could get another check from Huntsville.
Yeah.
I
She's
don't
gonna
really
get
think,
paid. She gets paid for coming on there, huh?
I'm sure she does.
Yeah, she wouldn't go anywhere for free.
Mhm.
Um, yeah, I
Yeah,
didn't like
I
how
said
Sheree
control like
said, "Oh,
that.
well, she cheated too." I was like, that is not relevant. That
I don't
is
even
not what we're
understand.
here to talk about.
I don't even understand why he keeps bringing that up. And if she did cheat, she had every right to cheat because God forbid you had a whole situation outside of
Yes.
your marriage.
Yeah.
I'm not saying infidelity is right, guys, but what's good for the
Well,
goose
she
got the
admitted to having, when they were separated, she had a boyfriend. They had relations. And if he wants to call that cheating, he's like, well, we were still married. We were still married. She's like, but we were at least separated, fool. She's like, you did everything while we were still married before any separation. You
That's
know?
the problem. I don't understand. I don't think Martell is capable of taking full accountability just on his own and sitting in it. He
Yeah.
always has to deflect it.
Uh,
Well, I was cheating because you wasn't taking care of me. You know what I mean? It's
right.
always a deflection.
Right. Right.
Never
It's like
full.
I did it, and because it was your fault, I did it.
Another narc
I would have
trait,
never even
guys.
thought about it, except for you made me do it when you thought about it, when you did it to, and then I did it because you said for me to do it. I did it because of you.
It's ridiculous, and I think one of them needs to get off the show. To be quite honest.
I think he needs to go heel too. Him and Latasha, all the haters can leave the stage. All the haters
Yeah.
can exit stage left. Anybody that's a hater, that's an ankle biting hater, can exit stage left. I only want to see, let's do the rest of this Black excellence. I'm even interested in Tiffany Whitlow's company and her. She has the frames for Black noses, and she has the medical trial research for being included in clinics, because if you guys look at some of your medications, it'll tell you who's included in the trials, and it's not a lot of melanins. So her company does that. I think that's excellent. People need to know about that, right? I would love to see
Hmm.
some excellence. Like, so all the haters can exit stage left. Martell, Letitia, Marceau, can all go. Stormy, she keeps showing her ass. She can go, and we can keep Tiffany. We can keep freaking Melody, obviously. We can keep Kiki, see what Kiki's doing as far as her recovery and stuff. Because I don't like them talking about her recovery as if it's questioned either. Like, even if freaking Letitia said that, they didn't have to air that, because that puts the idea, even if it's only to show Letitia's malice, it still just leaked it to a heck of people. And now there's
Hmm.
heck of energy towards this lady in recovery that, ooh, is she? Is she doing it? Is she? All because Letitia has the platform of the show, and they could have very well edited it out. You know how much stuff they edit out? I don't know. What do
Hmm.
you think about that? I didn't really appreciate that.
What, as far as
The
Letitia?
recovery thing, when Letitia was telling Courtney, she was implying to Courtney that Kiki's recovery
Oh
is,
yeah, I did not like. See, throwing rocks and hiding her hand.
yeah,
And I'm, I have recovering addicts in my family, and the last thing you should do is poke fun at someone's recovery. It's a real thing. Addiction
right,
is serious,
right,
and I just think she was ignorant for making that statement.
right.
I really do. You were so right, Curtis. Thanks for bringing that up, because I forgot about that. And I'm glad you brought that up, because that brings us to our next scene, the last scene, when Letitia and Kiki meet up. They decided to meet up at this rock box place, which I thought was very calculated. I don't know about you,
Yeah,
because I thought that was a subliminal, like, I'll knock you out if
yeah.
you say the
Well,
wrong
didn't
thing.
Letitia literally say, I picked this place because she didn't like this and I might have to knock her out? Didn't she like literally say that in the package?
Michelle GM says she could have left that part out about Kiki's recovery. Totally
Exactly.
unnecessary.
Exactly. Exactly.
Letitia is becoming a mean girl, and I think Letitia really want Melody's spot.
For real, for real.
Period. And
Hmm.
I'm over it. So Kiki, so Letitia's there first, doing her jabs and stuff like that. And Kiki walks in, and to me, it was immediately awkward, right? But
Yeah.
Letitia's idea behind this, let us work out all of our aggressions, so then we can go sit down and have a calm conversation. What did you think about that?
I thought it was the perfect place, and that I would have loved to actually see them get to actually hit each other. Like, put on some gear, or like at least hold the bag for each other while the other one is kicking it. You know what I mean? Like a little more
Mhm.
contact, you know. So, but it was nice what happened. But it was big trash talking Tisha that was like, "Ooh, yeah, I picked this place because I'm gonna knock her out." And then she was the one that was like, "Ooh, I'm tired. Let's sit down. I don't want to do all this." I was like, "See, she's so
Exactly.
freaking duplicitous."
Uh-huh. Uh-huh. I love it. Duplicitous. Gma says, I wish they would show more of the other people's businesses. I do too.
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
I do too. So Kiki and her, they do a couple of rounds of back boxing, back and forth, okay? Holding the hands and stuff like that. Kiki look awkward or whatever.
uh-huh.
So then when they sit down to actually talk, they flash back to the old scene when Kiki first came on the scene. And so Letitia's trying to drive this narrative that she was used as a puppet to go against her. And how dare her speak about my marriage to other people, you know. I think Kiki was a monkey wrench, and although I think she was wrong,
Yeah,
I just think it was all they have like a civil rivalry amongst each
yeah.
other, and it became competitive through the years. But Letitia, she harps on the fact that Kiki doesn't never take ownership so that they can move forward. But I feel like Letitia doesn't ever take ownership, not when it comes to this situation.
Right, runs in the family, I guess. Because
Exactly.
yeah,
And who talked about whose marriage first?
I believe that the legend has it that Letitia brought up stuff about Kiki to even Melody first and some other people, and that was what they were talking about even last season. I don't feel like whatever apology she gave to her was full accountability. So you're
Hmm.
very right. She had an opportunity to exhibit what she's demanding. And look, it wasn't even that bad. She's making a mountain out of a molehill.
I feel like she is, and I feel like she kind of trying to ice Kiki out because it reminds me of the Gorga and the Judite
Yeah, that's what
situation.
I
I
said.
don't think Letitia really wants her cousin on the show.
Yeah, she doesn't want her on the show at all. For whatever reason, she doesn't want her on the show. And this is very awkward. Again, who
And
are
she
you
brings
to
up a point like,
decide?
how can I ever trust you again? But Letitia, are you trustworthy?
Yeah, like you're the one that started it all. You should. I thought we were playing the game, cousin. I
Mm-hmm.
thought we were playing the game. You
Exactly.
know, you started it. We're pity patting, girl. Like, what's next? Come on, let's keep it going. Why you
Exactly.
what? You tapping out? Really?
Exactly. I still feel these ladies walked away unresolved, and it's just going to be another eruption. Because when you sweep things under the rug, um, it tends to resurface when it's triggered again by anything. And I also feel that I feel Letitia, she like Michelle said, I felt like she plays victim a lot in a lot of
Yeah.
situations. And I think that's due to her mom coddling her most of her life.
Yeah, it's like her superpower is she whines and gets what she wants, even though she pays taxes and has dependents. It's amazing. I don't
Mm,
know. It's I used to watch this series about this siren lady, and she was part of the Fae, and her superpower was like she would say things in a certain frequency, and people would do what she said. You know what I mean? And I'm
mhm,
like, that must be what Tisha has, but it don't work on me. I must
mm-mm.
be that frequency is just like nails on a chalkboard to me. I'm like, girl, you better get out of here with that. You know?
Exactly. Exactly. I'm just, overall, I'm really satisfied with how the season is going and the scenes for the upcoming episodes. Oh my God, the scene with Sheree and Tiffany. Hey DT, welcome, welcome, welcome.
DT, hi, yay.
Yay. Thank you. I hope all is well with you. We just did recaps on Love and Marriage Huntsville, season 6, episode 1 and 2. We got into so many layers of the dynamics between all of these people. Okay.
Yes.
But I think my favorite from the past couple of episodes would have to be Let me see. I love Kimmy's spirit. I do.
Yes.
I do. Who was your fave so far?
Yeah, Kimmy remains um my fave for couples, and I'm loving how Melody's even showing up to play this season, because we know last season we as an audience didn't even get access to Melody the last season, because that meant she was going to have to film with these people and be around them. Remember last season when she wasn't showing up to anything, you guys? And so at least this season, she's coordinating stuff, having tea parties, standing there for the arguments. I'm looking forward to seeing that. Um, and but Kimmy, yeah, Kimmy is awesome, awesome. All this mine.
No,
Okay,
overall, I would rate these first two episodes about a 7. What do you rate it?
a combined 7, you mean?
Yeah, a combined, or do you want to do it separate? I say combine both episodes rounds about a 7 for me.
I think that they would have the first one. That was a good 7. The second one, did we get anything extra that would put it beyond the 7?
I don't think so.
No,
Michelle rates
no.
it an 8. Guys, drop in the chat where you rate this episode. And Curves, thank you so much for joining me for this recap. I appreciate you. I hope you guys like my recap. What do you guys think?
This was excellent. You did fantastic. Thanks for having me up, Naughty Love. And I
Oh,
will drop down.
okay. Love you, Curves.
Right
See you
on.
in these
Love you
YouTube
too.
streets.
Peace out.
All right. Thank you all for joining me. I hope you like doing this recap. Do y'all like doing it 2 episodes at a time? Because then I would just do it like every other week, time wise. I kind of think it was okay doing it the 2 episode. It lasted for an hour. But I appreciate all of you joining me. Please remember to hit that like, subscribe, and bell button. Please share my content on your different social media platforms and leave comments. Please leave comments. We're growing every day. We're almost monetized, you guys. And I appreciate all the support thus far. And to all my haters. And I want to say thank you in case I don't thank you enough. I love y'all too. You know, you gotta love your haters. You gotta embrace your haters. Yeah, that works. I'm just gonna do every other week, and we'll do 2 episodes at a time. So I hope you all have a wonderful, wonderful Sunday afternoon. I hope you all live, love, laugh, and enjoy your work week. I will be back tomorrow morning with trending topics. I got some stories building up for you guys. So until next time, Naughty Crew. I'm out. 1.